Hello and welcome to my patch notes rundown for the 17th of May. This week's patch notes is actually last week's. My microphone stopped working on the day I was going to make this video, so I decided to couple it with this week's patch notes, which ended up being completely empty. When the text is highlighted yellow, it indicates that I'm reading the patch. When it's highlighted green, it indicates I'm explaining the impact of the patch. Without further ado, let's get right into it. The to be a master achievement, a trim completionist cape requirement, now requires the cockroach soul, which can be added to the Slayer Codex. The needle strike buff will now apply to the target it was used on, and last for the correct length of time. This ability applies a debuff on the target it is used on rather than a buff on the player. So by switching targets soon after using it, you are able to sustain the debuff for the entire 10.8 second duration rather than expiring on the first hit. Cows and chinchompas on the player-owned farm will now appear with color if textures are disabled. Seren Godbow's special attack debuff will no longer clear while it's on cooldown. As players, we heavily rely on visual feedback, like our buff and debuff bars, and this was something that constantly misled the player in making the mistake of trying to SGB spec when it's still on a 1 to 3 second cooldown. Black Hatchet can now be added to your tool belt. You can no longer build Reaper stacks from attacking any kind of combat dummy. Dwarven Chain Axe abilities will now work when using the Consume Logs option on the full Nature's Sentinel outfit. A staff will now spawn on the ground during the fight with Chronozon in the Dominion Tower. Players will now smelt 60 iron bars at once when using both the smelting gauntlets and the Ring of Forging. And that's it for this week's patch notes. I'm pleasantly surprised that they fixed the Seren Godbow cooldown bug, as it personally caused me a lot of grief. And I'm glad that they were able to finally fix the needle strike bug. Anyways, that's it from me. Thank you for watching and take care.